Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ybot. Welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. It is time to go ahead and rescue Jeb, Bob, and Bill from that ill-fated landing attempt. We're gonna send Valentina up with a modified space bus. And yeah, this is actually attempt number 2. I didn't really save all that well for the first one, and that was kind of a disaster that left Valentina stranded as well. So, this time, however, I built a monster. Oh yes. So first off, we've gone ahead and gotten ourselves the Skipper liquid fuel engines, not the most powerful of the medium-size engines, but definitely something handy to have nonetheless. Now, this craft isn't completely done, I do believe. Yeah, it's missing some solar panels, it's missing some batteries, and it's missing a communication antenna. So, we'll just throw Communitron on here, that'll work. Come on. Yep, that should work just fine. Alright. And for electricity, we'll just throw some radial solar panels on. I think that'll be alright. Get some of those on there. And then we'll throw some battery packs on. Probably right around. Yeah, you know what? We'll put them right here. And we'll just move the... Make sure it's just the one antenna. We do not need 4 on those damn things. So yeah, this design required a fair bit of trial and error, so that's why I'm not building it for you guys in the video here. So, it barely got its ass off the ground, so that's why we have these solid rocket boosters. Do we have a parts limit here that we need to be worried about? Not even close. So we'll go ahead, we'll even make it look a bit more aesthetically pleasing. Throw maybe some aerodynamic nose cones on here. There we go. Get those set up. Perfect. So, the plan here is that the solid fuel boosters will just get shot off all at once. The staging is not correct. I'm going to have to fix that before launch. The plan is that all 5 of these Skipper engines will be going off at once. However, these internal... These pieces right here in the middle are still stages, and they will be shot off 2 at a time in what I believe is called asparagusing the rocket. So what we are planning to do is we're planning to drain this one first, and then using the fuel from this stage and its opposite number on the other side of the spacecraft to power all 5 rockets. So the fuel will go down through this fuel line and then into the center one, and then once that gets blown off, we do the same thing with this one and the one on the other side, and that will hopefully get us to orbit. I believe that the central stage here will actually be able to get us into will be able to get us an encounter with Kerbal. I do think that that's the case. One small problem here, and this is going to require an awful lot of saving, and possibly some trial and error, is that we're going to be landing in the dark. And I'll show you guys in a sec what we're going to be dealing with. So, just a moment here. I just want to throw an engineering, Kerbal engineering system down, because this is going to be a 5-passenger vessel. We only have room for Valentina. Well, technically, actually, we could bring him along too. Maybe we will. Why the hell not? Get this guy some level ups, perhaps. We're not putting any science equipment on here. Anyway, I think it's just about done, except for the engines here. Just gonna double check the staging. Then we'll save it. I'll show you guys quickly what's become of the original Mun space bus, and yeah, and then we'll get started. So we got this. Blow off the boosters. Then this one will... yeah, that one will deal with the outer stages. Then the inner sections, the inner boosters. This will finally, when we need to, that will detach the third stage, in quotation marks. And then this section right here will be the lander. We've got 4 engines on the side of the lander. Those can be detached as well as needed. And yeah, this time I've decided to use only the outside engines. If need be, we can activate the inner engine, but I just want to experiment with that. See if we can maybe conserve fuel that way. And then we have a total of 9 parachutes, which is hopefully colossal overkill. Alright. Let's go ahead and just get out of the VAB for a sec. And let's take a look at the... let's take a look at our target here. Also, one other thing. And yeah, I believe I had to pull an old save to get it to a point where Valentina was still capable, still back on Kerbal and capable of getting somewhere. Because I believe I had her, like, stranded in orbit. Anyway, this is the Mun space bus. Small little problem. It's really, really dark right here. So at the moment, they're on the far side of the Mun. So we have a couple of options. We could either just wait. Yeah, so we're actually gonna just save it really quickly here. So option number 1 is that we wait for the Mun to be in a better position where we can have sunlight to actually be able to see where we're landing. Or option number 2 is we attempt a night landing. So I think we're going to try to go for the night landing. We'll see how that goes. So I guess we can actually just go straight to the launch pad this time. And we can pick up our vessel. What do we want here? Auto-saved ship with experimental parts. Sure, that is what it is. No, so we actually wanted rescue lander. Okay. So we'll go ahead and throw this dude into the passenger seats. And we'll launch the vessel. Alright, so this thing has been tested to at least make it to escape velocity. So we'll see what we can do with it. I've made a few minor adjustments, such as putting on the batteries, putting on the solar panels, the antenna since then. But I'm still confident that this will be more than enough. I mean, we have 10,000 delta V once we get into orbit. So let's get this monstrosity off the ground. Oh, and the reason we're using solid fuel boosters in addition to the side stages here is that this monstrosity actually would not get off the ground without them. The skipper engines are not super powerful in atmospheric flight. The other engine that comes with heavy rocketry, I believe, is considerably better. Anyways. Looks like our solid boosters are getting low. They're 25% and falling. Alright, our boosters have been jettisoned. Let's continue on. So we're still increasing in speed. That's good. Our apoapsis is 28,000 meters. We're crossing over into 20,000. However, one of our fuel tanks is nearly dead. Or one of our boosters is nearly dead. There we go. So we'll stay vertical while we attach those so that they do not crash into the ship and blow off another section of it. Now that those have been jettisoned, we'll start our gravity turn. At 30,000 meters, no less. So this thing's already at 48,000 meters. Okay. Bank up a little bit just to get a little bit more height on this thing. These things are still more than half full. This one's hasn't even been touched, of course, because we're pumping fuel from these two side booster stages into the central rocket. We might as well just do this. I know we're upside down, but whatever. So 60,000 meters, that's pretty good. Our horizontal speeds, 1,000. Okay, good. Vertical speeds, 150 and dropping. Let's just burn prograde for a bit. Alright, and those stages have been spent, so let's go ahead and jettison those. And since we're in orbit, we don't have to worry about gravity as much when it comes, or at all really, when it comes to jettisoning those. And looks like we're getting a nice little circular bit of an orbit here. Horizontal speed just about 2,000. So, what do we need here then? Well, our periapsis is above the ground. Alright, I think this is a good place to pause for a bit. We'll time warp over to apoapsis there. And we'll get that raised. And these things still mostly have their, have the vast majority of their fuel. And stage 6 here has, oh, just over 2,000 delta V. Very good. Stage 4 has 2,500, and stage 2, our final stage, has just under 2,000. So we have a grand total of 6,648 delta V. We can burn full tilt for 10 minutes straight here, so hoping we have enough. We'll see. So, as I mentioned earlier, the plan is to, if possible, take this section right here as far as we can, possibly even using it to begin our lunar descent. We'll see. That is unnecessary, most likely, but I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. Alright, so actually, this is a very good spot as well to get a maneuver set up. So the moon is going to orbit counterclockwise, so we can go ahead and just get a burn set up, and then looks like if we actually just move the maneuver node just over a little bit, would that do it? No. Okay, so actually possibly moving it closer to the ship. Yes, indeed, that seems to work. 862, yeah, that's pretty typical in terms of a burn. Okay, so that's going to use up like half of the delta V we have in this stage. So it's basically going to be like an orbital transfer stage mostly then, I guess. Alright, it's going to be 1 minute 41 seconds for that burn. We can start now. We haven't reached the maneuver node yet, but it's going to take quite a bit of time to actually complete that burn, so we can just start going full out prograde as long as we have to. And it's actually a bit better to, if you're going to have a really long burn like this, like if you're using a nuclear engine, I've heard that it is better to kind of split the burn in half. So say you've got a 2-minute burn, begin the burn 60 seconds before you get to T-0. So at T-60, fire up the engines, and you'll be more on track than if you waited till T-0 and did a 2-minute burn. So anyway. I think we'll actually just follow the maneuver node for this. Get away from the prograde marker. Go. timer going off. I think we can let this one run a little bit longer though, folks. I'd like to at least get us landed, and then maybe I'll throw down a cut. In the future, I may end up actually just, oh, son of a bitch. So I can set it as the target, just get a better idea. We'll do a correction burn, say here. There we go. In the future, I may do some edited Let's Plays the way I did with City Skylines. I think that might be a better format for Kerbal Space Program, because there's a lot of stuff like this where it's just... there's a lot of fiddly work in here. Although perhaps you guys are interested in the fiddly work. I know that I certainly am when it comes to trying to get to Duna, and don't worry, Duna is going to be fully played out in real time. That is, all the maneuvers and stuff. I'm gonna have commentary for them as I'm doing them, which will hopefully be helpful. Hopefully. So, 1 minute to go. Just less than a minute. Looks like the reaction wheel up here is struggling to move this monstrosity, so we're just gonna set the engine to 1% thrust. And use it to help us maneuver around to get to that node. Probably a bit too low. Setting it at 25% thrust is getting us closer to where we want to be. Alright, so we've got our lunar entry there, our lunar encounter. So I'm just going to time warp to the apoapsis here. And there's the Mun catching up with us just over there. Let's go ahead and skip ahead for a few hours. I just realized something. It's possible here that the landing site may no longer be dark. Yeah, indeed. The Mun space bus is now lit up. Perfect. And we're just going to warp to the periapsis of our lunar encounter here. And the satellite that we've got there is providing some... it's providing a convenient relay here. Let's add a maneuver here to ensure we are in orbit of the Mun. It's going to be at a bit of a wonky angle. And we'll try to get a nice... actually, we'll do a nice large orbit for now, because we're going to have to do some... we're going to have to switch it up a little bit. We're going to have to adjust the angle of our orbit. I think that'll be easier with larger orbit. Anyway, let's go ahead and warp over here. Just inch our way closer to that maneuver node. And we need to burn retrograde. We need to slow down by 350 meters per second. Still just a drop in the tank, actually, for the third stage of our rocket. And yes, technically it's probably the 4th stage, but I'm calling it the 3rd stage. And the boosters can be different. And according to this, of course, it's stage 6 because reasons. Because the parachutes count. And every single disconnection counts. Anyway, we're behind in terms of our burn, so not a huge big deal. But we should get that sorted out. Get ourselves circularized with the mun. There we go. Maneuvers completed, and let's go ahead and let us find our wonderful ship here. Yeah, so another thing, I think I may have switched this over to a base at some point, but I think that was in the I think that was in the one that I had to load from, which, by the way, time for a quick save. So let's go ahead and add a maneuver. Let's adjust the angle of our orbit. And make sure that we continue to keep the orbit small. Sure, we'll do that. It's probably going to cost a lot of fuel to do, but yeah. Well, actually, no, that's not too bad. What direction's the orbit going? We're going this way, right? Okay. Let's switch this sucker down to like 10% thrust again to get ourselves oriented towards our marker here. There we go. Perfect. How long is this burn going to take? It's going to take a lot longer at 10% thrust. Now if we do it like that. Not quite there yet. I don't think this burn will take very long at all, so we'll just time warp for like another minute or so. Yeah, it's going to be 11 seconds. So I just activated the engine there for a sec to just reset the estimation, so that we're not basing it off of 10% thrust on the engine. Okay. Counting down here. 10, 9. Okay, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, we're on target. Alright. Well, since we're here, looks like the orbit comes pretty close to passing over the space bus there. And its landing sites. We're going to go ahead and we're going to switch on over and start a retrograde burn just to shrink this orbit. So our periapsis isn't crashing yet, right? It's 140, that's pretty good. We could stand to burn a little higher, though. We're still not quite where we need to be. Try to get our orbit on a bit more of an inclination. So this will switch the angle of our orbit. Alright, just eyeballing that. That looks pretty good. A little closer to the surface now. And we'll do a retrograde burn as well, just because I think it's safe at this point to come on in for a landing. And we still have 517 delta V left. This is, yeah, it's a suicide. It's probably not the correct definition of suicide burn at this point, but yeah, we're gonna, at this point, we're coming right into the surface. Alright, so we can probably go ahead and time warp this for a bit. So our way, so let's go ahead and warp. Let's pull up the surface information as well. We are over the Midlands of the moon. We will impact the moon, or the moon, in about 5 minutes. And our impact zone is just going to be a little bit south of the Moon space bus. So I'll just go ahead and... Actually, we're just going to adjust the inclination of our orbit yet again. Not quite happy with where we're going. I want to be right over top of the Moon space bus. I'd like to be directly over top of our target if we can manage it. And I think this will do the trick. Yes, indeed. Need to burn off some of that fuel anyway. Alright, so now we will pass directly over the Mun space bus. And we should be able to land in the daytime. Perfect. Time for a quick save. And we will impact the Mun in... Who knows? Maybe we won't. Maybe we have an orbit again. Yes, we do, actually. Really? We don't. We're going to go right through the planet, but it thinks we do. So we're just going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to... Hey, look! There's our flag. Perfect landing. Along with our target. There we go. Now, just give us an impact timer, 3 minutes. Impact zone would be the lowlands over here, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just time warp here. And the goal is to kill our horizontal velocity nearly over top of this thing. It might be a really dumb idea to drop the stage here, but, well, we'll see. Actually, no, that should be fine. Yeah, this thing is going to run out of gas anytime now. Okay. Jettison the stage 3. That thing got us way further than I really expected it to. Let's go ahead and fire up the engines. Fire up our descent engines. Alright, so we're actually overshooting at this point, and we've got a fair bit of velocity to burn off here. And yeah, that thing will crash safely far, far away. So according to this, crash in 1 minute, but that time is going up, so we're doing okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just switch this over a bit, and we're going to try to aim in the general direction of the landing here. In the general direction of our target. So we're trying to do a precision landing, which is going to be interesting. I think we've gotten ourselves pretty damn close here. So I have to get ourselves positioned retrograde because we are going to hit the ground pretty friggin' hard. And at this point, with no thrusters, yeah, we're going to hit the ground in about 40 seconds. So we probably want to get on that. Just checking Kerbal Engineer's altitude readout here. It is considerably lower than this. So it says we're at under 2,000 meters, whereas this is saying completely the opposite. So if we were doing the night landing thing, we'd be pretty screwed without this. So I think we're in a good spot now. I'm going to F5 for safety, and we're going to actually take a chance here, and we're going to try to burn over in the general direction of the landing site again. My goal is to get within a kilometer of them. And we'll see if that actually happens. We're going to overshoot them again, which actually works out in our favor. And this is actually really good because we are, vertically speaking, we are 2.3 kilometers over top of them, so if we were to land it precisely here, we might actually be able to be within 100 meters. So that would mean that this rocket that was filled massively with overkill might actually be good for something. Yeah, and we'll land practically on top of them. Very nice. Get those engines fired up. Again, F5 for safety, because we're exactly where we want to be, and we don't want to have a repeat of last time. "25 seconds to impact." I'm just doing short little burns here. When we get close to the surface, I'll do a concentrated burn. My goal is to hit the surface below 7 meters per second. I'm going to try for 5 or less, if I can manage it. So we're just under... Yeah, this looks pretty good. We're under 500 meters. Under 400. $300. 2. Not yet. We got to be careful too not to go too fast, otherwise we'll start flying again. Less than 100 meters. Alright. Set for stability. Perfect. Much better landing than last time. All right. Let's send Valentina on an EVA. Fire up her jetpack, and off she goes. She's got plenty of fuel for this. If it's any indication, I got her to this landing site. My first attempt was a much less... was a more minimalistic vessel. But I could only land... I landed 14 kilometers away, so this is a walk in the park. All right. so she's going to grab the data. She can't do a crew report, unfortunately. Here's a question. Are we in the same biome as that ship? Oh, did we overshoot? Nope, nope. Get on board. Actually, transfer Valentina. Transfer her into this section for now. And we will go ahead and transfer Thurgold Kerman. Transfer him into the command module, and we'll have him go EVA. So we're in the lowlands. Perfect. Let's just get a flag planted here that signifies where we are. Just gonna name this for the biome here. Lowlands landing. Excuse space bus. Grab a surface sample. Grab an EVA report. Nothing from here. Okay. Well, let's see if the surface sample is compatible with what we've already got in there. Alright, so we already got one. Alright, let's go ahead and board then. And we will go ahead and switch over to the Mun Space Bus Mark 1, and it is time for these guys to head out. Let's EVA Jeb first here. Can collect that data. Just gonna have him grab some science as well while he's here. I think we had a barometer on the other side as well here. So we're going to take a look for that. Yeah, here it is. Can only be done by a scientist. Cool. Send Jeb off on his merry way. Give him a regular upward thrust so he doesn't hit the ground. Alright, so that wasn't a perfect landing, but oh well. Neither was that. Come on, Jeb, you can do it. Show us those good piloting skills that got you landed so perfectly on this planet. On the moon. Can I board? Module's full. Alright, fine, let go. Alright, let's get you up. Alright. So we've got some fiddling we need to do here. Apparently I misclicked and we're back at the Space Center. That's fine. Tracking station. Pop into the... Jump into the rescue lander. Go. Alright, you sir. Need to transfer you into the crew cabins. Perfect. Switch to Jeb. Let's try this again, Jeb. Store the experiments. Dump what we can't store. And back to the tracking station, and we'll move the next one. Go ahead and transfer Mr. Bill Kerman into the command module. Get him moved over. Give him an EVA. It's no time to take a nap, Bill. Come on, let's go. Willing to bet Jeb's still sitting in the pilot's couch. There we go. That should be a nice, easy landing for him. Bill, you're just gonna chill out here for a bit. Just gonna have Bill chill here for a bit while we grab the others. And I think this is a good place to throw down a cut, folks. So, next time we'll finish the mission, we'll get Bob out. In between episodes, I'm just going to try to snag whatever last little remnants of science I can. So do like surface samples, transmit them to the Space Center, just grab whatever I can. Oh, we have this, world first milestone. We performed a crew transfer near the moon. You don't say. Alright, well, anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!